The call came while I was washing a mug I hadn't finished drinking. My son's teacher didn't say hello. She said my name like it was evidence. "You need to come here, immediately." I asked what happened. She didn't answer that either. She just said, "Please don't bring your wife." The mug slipped. Cracked the sink. I didn't feel it. When I arrived, the playground was empty. Too quiet for noon. A squad car sat crooked near the entrance. Lights off, like it was trying not to be seen. My son was inside. I could feel that, like a bruise forming under the skin. A police officer met me at the door. Young, careful eyes. He didn't look angry. That scared me more. He didn't ask me to sit. He asked me to follow. The room was small. No windows, a desk. A tablet lying face down like it was ashamed of itself. "Is this yours?" he asked. I shook my head. "It's my wife's work iPad." He nodded once. Slow. "Your son brought it to school." I waited. I've always been good at waiting. "What we found in there is horrifying," he said. Then he turned the screen toward me. I didn't understand it at first. My brain refused the shape of what I was seeing. Folders, messages, videos. Not work. Never work. Something else. Something hidden. Something my son had unlocked with a 4-digit code he shouldn't have known. The officer kept talking. His voice sounded far away, like it was coming through water. I stared at the reflection of my own face in the glass. I didn't recognize it. Too still. Too calm. Like a man already standing on the edge of something irreversible. They let me see my son after. He was crying because he thought he was in trouble. I told him he wasn't, and I meant it. I didn't go home that night. Not because I was angry, because I needed to think. 7 years. That's how long I'd been married. 7 years of believing I knew the woman sleeping next to me. The way she angled her phone away at night. The sudden overtime. The passwords changing like seasons. I told myself it was stress, work, ambition. Men lie to themselves because the truth costs too much. That night, alone in a motel that smelled like bleach and old secrets, I replayed every moment. Every gap, every silence she'd filled with excuses. I didn't cry. I planned. I accessed phone records, cloud backups, deleted files that weren't really deleted. My wife was careful, but she was arrogant. She never imagined the quiet man who trusted her would become methodical. What I found didn't just explain the tablet. It reframed my entire life. By morning, I knew 2 things with certainty. She had been living a double life, and my son had never been part of the plan. That was the mistake she couldn't undo. I went home 2 days later, not to reconcile, to confirm. The house felt staged, too clean, like a set after the actors leave. Her shoes by the door, her coat hanging where it always did. Nothing out of place, except the woman wearing them. She smiled when she saw me. Relief first, then calculation. "You scared me," she said. I studied her face the way surgeons study scans, looking past the surface, searching for rot. "I know," I said. That night she slept. I didn't. At 3:12 a.m., I unlocked the iPad again. Slowly. Deliberately. I'd already seen the worst of it. The messages, the videos, the conversations that weren't about love, but leverage, deals, exchanges, things disguised as work, labeled as projects, men with titles, men with families, men who paid for silence. And then I saw the folder she thought was untouchable. Insurance, names, dates, locations, proof. She wasn't just betraying me. She was building an exit strategy, one that didn't include her son. That was when something inside me went quiet. Not numb, focused. I copied everything, encrypted it, stored it in places she'd never reach. Then I put the iPad back exactly where it had been. Same angle, same smudge on the screen. In the morning, I made breakfast, packed our son's lunch, kissed her cheek. She flinched. Good. 2 weeks later, I asked one question over dinner. "Do you trust me?" She laughed. Too fast. "Of course." I slid an envelope across the table. Inside were printouts, screenshots, timelines. Her handwriting from years ago, now confessing for her. She didn't open it all the way before she knew. Her hands shook. Her mouth opened. Closed. She looked around like someone expecting witnesses. I already went to the police, I said calmly. Not about the tablet. About the rest. Her chair scraped back. She cried, begged, explained, said my name like it used to mean something. I listened. Then I stood. You built a life assuming I'd never look behind the curtain, I said. You were right. I took our son the next morning. Temporary custody became permanent faster than she expected. Her employers disappeared. Her allies turned quiet. Those men didn't want insurance files surfacing. Last I heard, she lives alone now. No work, no son, no leverage. Sometimes I think about forgiveness. Then I remember the look on my child's face when he thought he'd ruined everything. I didn't go back to that house. I didn't need closure. The truth already burned everything down. And I walked away with what mattered, still intact.